Whether you are a critic of self-improvement and you believe that it's a bunch of bullshit, fraud, scams, or you're someone that's bought into self-improvement and loves it, or you're just skeptical, like you want to try it out or you're trying it out and you just want to make sure you're not being scammed. This video is here to address that from an objective, real point of view. I am telling the truth and nothing more. So reason one, people say self-improvement is a scam. It's $41 billion. How can that be a scam? Wait, no, sorry. It's a $41 billion industry. That's a scam. Now, maybe I didn't articulate, and that's not a fair way of phrasing it, but that's the idea. But there are plenty of industries that are big, that are good for people and things. You know, fucking, I don't know, what about the homeless dog industry? That's gotta have a little bit of money in it. Or, you know, other good things, like orphans, you know? And sure, there are bad industries that make a lot of money, so I'm not gonna say that this makes it innocent either. However, I would say it gives value to people in some way. Also, my rebuttal, as someone that loves self-improvement, that's super into it, I have not spent a dime on self-improvement. Not one. So, you can watch, you get free videos and free information out there in a way that resonates with you. Back in the day, you had to read a book, but now you can do it in any sort of form. So you don't have to spend any money. You can get it all for free, even the books. With the internet, it is so easy. You are one Google search away from reading any popular book. The legality of this, I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. So I'm not telling you to do this, but I'm saying if you did it, who's to say what would happen? So yeah, it's free. You don't have to buy in. And one day when I'm rich, if I have some money, I will support these people, these authors that really changed my life. But at this point, you know, I don't have that much money to spare. So if I can get it for free, I'm gonna. As long as I'm not stealing. No. Here's reason two, which sounds actually more convincing than reason number one. If self-improvement works, if it's not a bullshit scam, then why do people keep coming back? Why isn't one book enough? That's a good question. But it's the wrong perspective. Any self-improvement resource you come across isn't going to change your life entirely and fix everything about your life. At best, it's going to change some major aspect of your life. It's going to give you a direction, a shift in your direction or a shift in your perception, a shift in the way you perceive and think about the world that motivates action. But that doesn't mean it's going to solve everything. One good book, Atomic Habits, that's going to change the fuck out of your habits. And that has impacts way beyond just that, because your habits make up everything. So that's one book that actually, it's not going to solve everything, but it's going to help you figure out habits, which will then go out and affect everything. Other things like your social skills, that's a little more specialized. So how to win friends and influence people. If you're a well-socialized kid with great fucking role models who are aware of this shit, then you learn this shit naturally. You pick up on it just by watching. But if you're from a shit household or, you have some form of childhood trauma, you gotta read a book or something to learn this shit. It doesn't come natural. And I might be speaking from experience. So yeah, one book, it's not gonna change everything about your life, but it'll change one aspect in a huge way. Since I've read How to Win Friends and Influence People, I haven't really had to read another book like that. I've gone out and looked to see if there are other books like that, and there just aren't any that really resonated with me. But there might be some that resonate with you, so don't let that stop you. Yeah, so that's disproven. Reason two, bullshit. So this might be the stupidest reason, so don't click off if you think this reason is stupid, but self-improvement offers conflicting advice. Of course it offers conflicting advice. It's not meant for one person. Each piece of content is meant for a very specific person. Now there are some creators like Better Ideas. He's great for anyone that's interested in just general shit. But like, for example, Mark Manson, that his dating book, Models, that shit is so useful for guys who aren't good with women if they, engage with the content. But that's it. Like, it's not gonna help any. I mean, I haven't read the book, so I don't know, to be fair, but I can't imagine like people, like if you're a married man, who's not trying to go cheat on his wife, you probably don't need to go read that book, right? So of course there are going to be conflicting pieces of information. There's different audiences for different shit. So like if you're going to take a different path, you're going to have different information that you need. So yeah, you can't just listen to everything everyone says. You have to critically think about shit and like, does this apply to me or is this for someone that's not me? This one is maybe the most convincing. You hear a lot of people say it didn't work for me. Now it's not super convincing just because it's kind of egotistical, like, oh, it didn't work for me. But yeah, I get that. Like if it doesn't work for you and it makes all these claims that it's gonna make your life better, that's a sign that maybe it is a scam. And if everyone got scammed or the majority of people got scammed, I would say that's a scam, but it's a small minority that doesn't get the value from it. And a huge reason why isn't because it's the wrong content, it's because you're consuming it wrong. So if you're interested, go check out my video on that. I posted 5 mistakes you're making in self-improvement and 5 mistakes that are making you ruin your life, waste your life and your time. So you can check that out. But yeah, if you make those mistakes and you don't engage with it properly, you're fucked. You're wasting your time. You might as well watch Roblox and OnlyFans. So yeah, it's hard to actually get it right. But just because it's hard and just because you have to do extra work on top of it doesn't mean it doesn't work for anybody else. So the last reason is an attack on the big sources in self-improvement, like the big guys. There are fraudsters in self-improvement. So self-improvement's a fraud. Or these people aren't experts. They're not doing one thing in particular. Like they're not becoming better programmers. They're not becoming better statisticians, historians. I don't fucking know. They're just spouting their opinions. But it's like everyone's entry level when they start shit and you become an expert over time. Like Tony Robbins, he started this shit as a young man. Now he's an old man. And he's been saying the same message the whole time. Well, it's evolved, but it's overlined. It's like the same message. Like, and look at him. He's a happy, healthy dude. He's fucking diseased with giantism, and he's out there being a healthy dude. Like those guys die early. I don't know how he's still alive. So just because you're not an expert doesn't mean you don't have anything of value to say. And that might just be me speaking because maybe I don't have much to say. Hopefully, I think I do. I hope I do. Let me know in the comments if I offer value. The last thing, which is it's sort of like the same as the last one but different, all the bad eggs in self-improvement. So sure, there are Joe Rogans and people who are generally agreed upon to be good people, at least from my view. And then there's people like fucking Andrew Tate, who's a little too rapey for me, and fucking Napoleon Hill, who wrote that book. And just because like that guy made some shit up and Andrew Tate's a little rapey, it doesn't mean that their messages are totally like thrown in the trash, Like we can take a little scrap and like to varying amounts. Like Napoleon Hill, his book, fucking, what is it? I forget what his book is called, but it's about being, it's about being rich. Some of it was bullshit, but most of it was good information. It was kind of pseudoscience, kind of like mystical, made up, but you can take the good shit and leave the dung alone. And even with Andrew Tate, who's, I would say, not a person I would want to replicate. However, he's great at hiding who he truly is. I mean, he's not that great at it, but I like some of the information he says, like not like most of his shit about women, but yeah, like a lot of the shit he says is good. Like men need to be strong, men need to be, but I think he takes it a little too far. He's a little too much like Hitler. Obviously he's black, okay, I get it. But black people can think like Hitler did too, Anyway. Yeah, so like There's bad eggs in every industry, especially such a big industry with so much money in it. Of course there's going to be some bad eggs, but it's up to you, the consumer, to like establish that difference. And hopefully you're not a little kid, because then you really don't know what is good and what is bad. Mommy, Andrew Tate said I should slap a bitch if she does something disrespectful. No, son, you should not slap a bitch if she's disrespectful. Only when a bitch slaps you. That's my policy anyway. All right, okay. You know, a little slapping at the end there, but you know, it's all fun and games. I say it's not good to hit women, period. So if you take that and you take the rest of Andrew Tate, you know, he's a good guy. If you ignore all of that shit about women and his radical beliefs, you know, and all that, and the crime and that, you know, he's a good guy, kind of. All right, thanks. Thanks for watching.